Hey, what's up? It's Rich back with another quick Steam Deck Linux gaming tutorial. So specifically today, we're going to look at Proton GE and how to install it on the Steam Deck the easy way. Basically, we're going to be using the ProtonUp-Qt app, which is easily installable on the Steam Deck. I'm not going to go into any of the ins and outs of the file system and all that jazz. This is so simple, anybody can do it. Basically, I'm going to show you how to install that, how to add it to the gaming UI, so you can access it without always having to go into desktop mode, and then ultimately what you do to add your custom Proton as a compatibility tool for launching games. So let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm here on the Steam Deck, and basically the first thing we've got to do is get out of the gaming UI, which is the controller-friendly handheld mode, and we need to get into desktop mode. So I'm using a PS5 controller here, but obviously you would open up the Steam library here by pressing the Steam button if you're doing this on the actual handheld. I would recommend plugging in at least a mouse for this because it will make your life much easier. And then we go down to power, and we can switch to the desktop mode, and it will then take us out of the dedicated gaming UI, and it will bring us into the KDE Plasma desktop. Okay, so we're now on the KDE desktop environment, on the KDE Plasma desktop. It doesn't take long to jump into this. As I said, I would recommend at least connecting up a mouse, either using I've got one connected to a dock, or just a Bluetooth mouse or something, because it will make life a little bit easier for this stage. So all you want to do is we come down here to this little guy on the toolbar, Discover Software Center. And we want to search for, now I've already got it installed, so I will just go to it in here. So what you want to search for in the Discover app is ProtonUp-Qt. I already have it installed, so it's in my my installed applications list. Up here, it'll obviously say install for you, not remove, but basically hit install, it'll do its thing, it'll install. That's literally all you have to do. Now, you can interact with it in this environment. So if we go and scroll down here in my apps, you can open it up on the desktop, which is great. This is how most Linux users who are familiar with this application will do this, and it's perfectly fine. Once you've then chosen the version of Proton, so I'll just go and choose an old one here. So we'll just randomly choose that one. Just hit install. Once it's installed, it will do the extracting. It'll install it. You know, if you've used this before, you're familiar with this. But if this is your first time with Linux, obviously with the Steam Deck, and you're hearing about this, this wonderful thing called custom Proton and all the benefits it can provide in some of the games, then this is the way to do it. It's so easy, and you don't have to deal with anything in terms of moving files around or anything like that. So this is the way to go. Now, obviously, this is on the desktop. We don't want that. We want it on the other bit of the Steam Deck. Desktop mode really isn't that kind of useful when you're handheld. You know, the touchscreen works okay, but it's a bit kind of hanky, and you don't want to be messing about this. So while we're in the desktop mode, the easiest thing to do is to add it to Steam, and we can do this in the same way as we would add any other non-Steam game. Basically, we go into games, this option here, add a non-Steam game to my library. Move that in. And then you just have to scroll down. Now, obviously, I've already done it, so it won't show up here for me. But basically, you will find the option for the ProtonUp-Qt, and you just have to tick the box next to it. So I'm gonna, I'll tick that one for Cider because it shows you what to do. You just tick the box, click Add Selected Programs, and then you will see when it's been done that it's installed locally here on the Steam category. So ProtonUp-Qt, sorry, we can go and then launch it through Steam, and it opens up just as it would normally. So that's on the desktop. So what does it look like on the other side? Well, we'll go back to the gaming mode. This will take a few seconds, so we'll come back when it's rebooted. Okay, so we're back here on the Steam Deck's gaming UI, the place you want to spend most of your time on the Steam Deck. And if we now go along to the very end of the library where we've got this non-Steam section, you'll see ProtonUp-Qt. So you just launch it. I've already got it open in the background, but obviously here it will just say play. You just hit play, and Steam will treat it like a game. So you're going to get it. This is what it looks like. It's not brilliant. I've got my controller still hooked up, and you can move things around. You move the thing around, the box around to select, but the buttons on this PS5 controller don't seem to work, at least. So you probably do still want your mouse connected if you can do it. Touch is obviously easier to use in this environment because this is blown up on the screen, so it's a lot easier to actually hit. So, but again, we can just select the compatibility tool, choose the version we want. Now, I'm actually going to uninstall that one. But again, we can do this. It's just the same way as any other time we've used this app. We can add them, remove them, manage them. And that's all there is to it, really. Now, we'll close that out. We'll go back to the Steam. Obviously, you can also, when this is running, you don't have to use that close. You can also just jump out of it and leave it open in the background, or you can exit the game as you would any other Steam, any other actual game. But we'll go here to one of my installed games and we will have a look. So let's have a look at Elden Ring, and then it's just the same as on like desktop Steam. We go down to the properties and the compatibility. You can obviously choose all the different preloaded official Protons. But yeah, it's really straightforward to use, and then you just select that. Or obviously you can do it on a global basis in the settings, but whichever version you use, it's the same throughout. That's a quick look at installing custom Proton on the Steam Deck. It's really, really straightforward, thanks to ProtonUp-Qt, which is available through the Discover app store that's on here for all the Flatpak stuff. That's a really, really important tool, and obviously it's how we're going to be installing things like Discord and the Heroic Games Launcher for Epic Games Store. Be looking at those in future videos, hopefully. But that's custom Proton for now. Again, you don't necessarily need to use it, but if you want to, it's there. Obviously, this is Linux. There's loads of things you can do to tinker around with your Steam Deck. And I have found that, as in desktop gaming, the custom Protons from Glorious Eggroll have actually worked out pretty well in some of the games I've tested. So it's definitely worth a look, especially if you're having a few issues with some games that aren't verified, or or there's not much information about on the Steam Deck. Give it a whirl. You've got plenty to choose from, and let us know what you think. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.